Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT News at 5:30.
Good evening to you. We are learning more about a southeastern Kentucky couple accused of abuse at a daycare.
It all began when Tracy Ford was arrested and accused of sitting on a child. A few days later, her husband was arrested because police say he was threatening a witness. Our Phil Pendleton is talking to the woman who says she saw the incident and was allegedly threatened by the husband. It's our top story at 5:30.
It all began April 10th when Tracy Ford was arrested. Some people at the Rainbows and Lollipops daycare say she was seen sitting on a child.
She said that that's the only way you could get him to sleep.
This woman says she saw it and even took a picture of it. Later, she says Billy Ford made a disturbing phone call to the daycare.
And he threatened her, wanted to know who took the pictures of his wife, and said he would do something about it when he found out.
Both were in court today, but Tracy Ford's case was continued until Thursday. State trooper testified about what they perceived as a threat after Tracy's arrest.
Mr. Ford had contacted the Rainbow and Lollipop daycare facility and was asking questions, demanding who took the picture.
He wasn't told anything.
He said that it's fine, I'll find out on my own and take care of the situation.
But Ford's attorney said he questions whether what Ford said over the phone was actually a threat and if he really meant to harm anyone.
I'll find out and take care of the situation. It's not an intimidating remark. It was not made person to person. It's the only conversation that occurred.
Yet this woman is concerned.
I believe it is because everybody's scared of him, and I believe he would do something to hurt somebody.
The judge found probable cause and sent the allegations against Billy Ford to the grand jury in Knox County. Phil Pendleton, WKYT.
Billy Ford is also facing an unrelated charge of theft regarding some items stolen from a car. He was arrested on those charges after he was released on the intimidation charge.
A candidate for governor is answering to allegations of abuse. During a news conference today, Agriculture Commissioner James Comer said the allegations that he physically abused a former college girlfriend are false. The Courier-Journal wrote an article about a woman that dated Comer when they were in college. Marilyn Thomas told the paper that Comer was physically and mentally abusive to her while they were dating over the course of a 2-year period. Comer says he denies that accusation and that he could take legal action against the paper and Thomas. Thomas has supported Hal Heiner on social media and has donated money to his campaign. We'll hear from Comer coming up on WKYT News at 6. Before Comer spoke out on the allegations this afternoon, he talked about the success of the state's hemp program. Comer says 121 participants, including 24 processors, will be involved in the second year of testing hemp as a potential cash crop. He announced today that 1,700 acres of hemp will be planted this year compared to just 33 acres last year.
Hemp equals jobs and true economic development, which is what we predicted when we launched Senate Bill 50 2 years ago.
State agriculture officials say the hemp crop's comeback is starting to attract investments from processors. One of those investors says his company has invested $1.5 million.
After more than a week on the run, a prison escapee is back behind bars. Charles Blanton walked away from the Blackburn Correctional Complex in Lexington on Sunday, April 26th. State police caught him early this morning after a chase in Laurel County. Jennifer Palumbo is at the live desk with details on his capture. Jennifer?
Sam, at 4:30 this morning, the state police post in London received an anonymous tip that Charles Blanton was at the Corbin Walmart in a Chevy Impala. Troopers spotted Blanton in the car and tried to stop him, but they say he refused to pull over, so they started chasing him. 7 miles later, they say Blanton lost control of the car on Robinson Creek Road, ended up in a ditch, and hit 2 police cars. A woman who lives nearby says it's not unusual to see cars speeding on that road.
I see people go up down this stretch here so fast that you can't even really tell what they're driving.
After crashing the car, troopers say Blanton tried to run from police, but they caught him and took him into custody. This is the same area where he committed the crimes that sent him to Blackburn in the first place. Blanton was serving a 16-year sentence for convictions out of Laurel County, including manufacturing methamphetamine. He would have been eligible for parole in December. At the live desk, Jennifer Palumbo, WKYT.
In addition to escape, Blanton faces numerous other charges, including fleeing police, resisting arrest, assault, and DUI.
A judge rules a Central Kentucky woman convicted of child abuse will serve all of her sentence. Our county-by-county coverage at 5:30 begins in Anderson County. Rebecca Medley was sentenced in January to 5 years for tying up her 3-year-old to a bed as a form of punishment. Today, a judge denied Medley shock probation, but the judge still needs to sign off on the order. The child's grandmother, Carolyn Case, pled guilty to a lesser charge in the case after agreeing to testify against her. Police say the toddler was tied up for 10 hours at a time. In Boyle County, 2 people involved in a violent robbery were back in court today. The case against Patrick Brand and 16-year-old Nathaniel Davis was continued. Brand and Davis, along with Robin Adams and Rico Penix, are charged with robbery and assault. Police say Davis and one of the other suspects robbed the Domino's in Danville back in September and shot employee Zoe Reed in the stomach. They say 2 other suspects waited in the car. Davis is being charged as an adult but is in a juvenile holding facility. All 4 of them have pled guilty to the charges. And in Grant County, state police are looking for a man wanted for a home invasion. Troopers say they've issued an arrest warrant for 21-year-old George Pickett for his involvement in a home invasion in Dry Ridge on April 26th. Pickett faces charges of robbery, burglary, and unlawful transaction with a minor.
In Russell County, an entire police department is now equipped with body cameras. The Jamestown Police Department has bought 6 cameras for about $1,200. They say they decided to get the cameras in response to all of the recent news stories going back to Ferguson. The department has a total of 5 officers, and we're told that everyone in the department was pro body camera. Another sunny, warm day around the Bluegrass today, and our stretch of these summer-like temperatures is not ending anytime soon. Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey is warming it up with the forecast.
We're heating it up, my man, over the next several days. And yeah, I think we're going to get a little toastier as we go toward the second half of our week and maybe even into the upcoming weekend as well. And it is pretty darn toasty out there now. 81 degrees. It is popular, to say the least. Mountain Parkway corridor, Frankfort, Richmond, Lexington, all at 81 with a partly sunny sky that is showing up out there. Live First Alert Defender. I'm showing the temperatures for the entire region. A little bit of cloud cover that is out there. A lot of clear skies, too. And, oh, by the way, now into southeastern Kentucky, one little shower that is trying to pop up not too far away from the Whitesburg area of Letcher County. That is teeny tiny, but again, that's the kind of the devil that's in the details over the next few days. You get 1 or 2 of these little showers and storms to pop up during the course of the afternoon, and then it fizzles out as quickly as it starts to show up. Those clouds across parts of west central Kentucky that we had a little earlier now beginning to dissipate a little bit. And when I come back in about 10 minutes, the focus of the forecast is going to be on the muggy air that is on the way. That's right, we're using the term muggy for the first time this year. That will lead to an increased chance for some storms. We'll show you which day has the best chance with the hour by hour coming up.
Victims of the severe storms, flooding, and landslides that happened last month in Kentucky may qualify for tax relief from the IRS. Last week, President Obama signed a disaster declaration for individual assistance. Several central and eastern Kentucky counties were declared a federal disaster area. Today, the IRS announced that several deadlines, like making tax payments for people affected by the storm, have been postponed until July. A Franklin County road has reopened a month after the embankment slipped, forcing crews to shut it down. Kentucky 1659 was closed on April 3rd between mile point 1 and 2. Crews started repairing the road last week by shoring up the roadway with rock. They say there are other spots along the highway where the embankment is starting to slip. The Transportation Cabinet is working to get a crew to repair the road. That road will have to be closed when they start fixing it.
The growth of Lexington is pretty obvious, and to help on the northwest end of the city, a new connector road is almost ready for drivers. Brenda of Lexington is asking our good question tonight: how soon will the Citation Boulevard extension be completed? I flew over it coming in on a plane recently. Looks like it is almost ready for driving. Brenda, you are right. It is just months from opening. The Citation Boulevard extension will be the connector between Leestown and Georgetown roads. It's a $38 million project that started about 2 years ago. It is almost ready. It's the connector that drivers will use in the northwest part of the city to move faster and safer. I contacted the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet today. They tell me the completion date for the extension is scheduled for October, but it may open earlier, perhaps this summer. There you go. If you have a good question, go to WKYT.com.
All 4 Republican candidates for lieutenant governor battled it out on statewide television.
And a man who ran second in Kentucky's 2008 Republican presidential primary is putting his name on the ballot again. Our Bill Bryant has the details on the bottom line.
Good evening. Republican candidate for governor James Comer had hoped to attract media coverage about the success of the hemp program that he's been overseeing as state agriculture commissioner today at a news conference at a tobacco warehouse 2 weeks before the May 19th primary. Comer pronounced the hemp pilot program a success. But that was overshadowed by allegations of abuse by a woman he dated in college in the early 1990s. First reported by the Courier-Journal, Comer set a separate news conference to deal with that this afternoon and strongly denied the implications. With his wife at his side, he called the report and accusations garbage. We'll have more coverage of that coming up later on WKYT News. The story somewhat overshadowed last night's only statewide televised debate featuring the Republican candidates for lieutenant governor. The 4 appeared on KET, and Comer's running mate, Senator Chris McDaniel, used his opening comments to criticize communications between a Lexington blogger and some associated with the Heiner Crosby campaign. Casey Crosby insisted that she and Hal Heiner have run a positive campaign. All of the candidates, including Matt Bevin's running mate, Janine Hampton, and Will T. Scott's choice for Lieutenant Governor, Rodney Coffey, agreed the top issue is jobs. Former Arkansas Governor Mike Huckabee, now a 2016 candidate for president, he won 8 Republican primaries in 2008 and came in second in Kentucky to eventual nominee John McCain. He launched his campaign in his hometown of Hope, Arkansas, also the birthplace of Bill Clinton. Huckabee will be reaching out to cultural conservatives as he promotes his views on social issues like opposition to abortion and gay marriage. Local governments across the state busy wrestling with budgets for the coming fiscal year that starts July 1st, many holding work sessions to break down the numbers. Bill Bryant, WKYT.
Construction is underway on Covington's former impound lot to turn it into a BMX bike track. More than 175 dump trucks worth of dirt have been brought in. The dirt will soon be molded into a BMX bike track full of hills and curves. The president of BMX Bike Track Company says the track should be ready in about 5 months. They hope the track can host major competitive races, including one national BMX race per year.
The new owner of Muhammad Ali's childhood home promises he will restore it with help of a new partner. A Philadelphia lawyer says he is now the co-owner of a 1-story wood frame home in Louisville where the famous boxer grew up. He's partnered with a Las Vegas investor to restore the home. The project is expected to cost hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Now.